Hi, my name is Garrett Christopher, and this is my YouTube channel, Garrett's Sports Take. I've not done one of these for a while. In fact, I think the week before the NFL playoffs began. But let's talk some sports. I'm not wearing a jersey. I'm not wearing a Dodger jersey, a Lakers jersey, or a Dolphins jersey for various reasons on that one. But yeah, because I just want to talk sports right now. I know you've missed me, so I thought I'd go ahead and chime in on a couple of things here. By the way, please visit my website, GarettChristopher.com. You'll find out more about me. I'm a self-published author. I've got 5 novels out there, the 5th one being The Takeover, part 1 of a sci-fi series. If you listen to my podcast, which is available on Soundcloud and Spotify, I bore my soul about the second part of the sci-fi series and how when I went in to edit the completed first draft, I couldn't find it anywhere. I thought I had another computer, one of my kids' computers, and it wasn't there either. So I'm having to rewrite it. Now it's in my head, in the old noggin, but I don't retain things as well as I used to. And so, yeah, I'm kind of going through it. Kind of a bummer. I really like that first draft, but, what can you do? In any case, yeah, so that, and then I also have audiobooks, 3 of them. Right now I'm presenting on my podcast, again, available on SoundCloud and Spotify, the Takeover Part 1, the audiobook in its entirety, bit by bit. Am I saying that right? I keep saying that, but I think it's incorrect. It will be presented, yeah, in its entirety, but chopped up in little pieces, 10, 12 minutes at a time. Right now I did section 11 earlier today, in fact. So now, if you go in and check it out, start at section 1, and you'll get, I think now we're like an hour and 40 minutes of the audiobook. And by the way, when you visit these channels, I've got 2 more YouTube channels, by the way, Garrett's Take. I haven't done one of those for a long time either. And Garrett's Movie Take. I'm on a roll with those. Please say hello. So whether it be on my Instagram, Garrett Christopher, my website, GarettChristopher.com, my email address, GarettChristopher@gmail.com, kind of easy to remember. 1R1T, by the way, on the Garretts. My YouTube channels, whatever you do, please say hello. Let's see, Rich says hello. Yeah, that's it. No one else says hello. A few people on SoundCloud say little comments here and there, but that's about it. I only have like 3 followers on SoundCloud. Anyway, so yeah, there you have it. So let's talk some sports. So first of all, let's talk NFL, because right now we have the 2 teams that are going to play in the Super Bowl. Can you believe it? The Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. I didn't pick that. I wish I put money at the beginning of the season. They won 4 games last year. I think at the beginning of the season, I thought they might win 7 or 8 because Joe Burrow is that good. And they would double their wins. They're in the Super Bowl. Now, let me say something about that. And I'm not taking anything away from Cincinnati. And I'm not trying to back the fact that I didn't choose them, like that. Not at all. By the way, I did choose the Rams. So, okay, just calm down a little. Kansas City. So I'm watching the game. And it's 21-10 with, whatever, 20 seconds, whatever at halftime. And they're there, right at the goal, and 5, 6, 7 yard line, whatever it was. And they got some chances. From my point of view, and I think from Andy Reid's point of view, they were able to do whatever they wanted to do, okay? They had the Bengals on the ropes, and they were going to score a touchdown and go up 28-10 at half, and just, from that point, just demolish, right? 56-20, 56-15, what? 15 a safety. If something in there would be, the score would just be like just crazy, right? We're talking like the Giants and the Broncos, Super Bowl type score, or the Niners and the Dolphins. Anyway, so they didn't kick the field goal. That was cockiness. They had 5 seconds left, and Mahomes does a little, run to the left and then throws it, and we don't get in there, and then tries to call timeout, whatever like that. I say they didn't get in there. Not my team. That was cockiness. You take the points. You go in up 24-10 because that's 2 touchdowns as opposed to a touchdown with a 2-point conversion and a field goal, right? You know the math. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. That was cockiness. So even though I chose Kansas City to win and to come out of the AFC, I'm kind of glad they didn't. I'm kind of glad they didn't. Just for that move alone. That was cocky. You take the points. You get the 3. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for that reason, and then of course, whatever can happen, happened. Right? I mean, just wackiness from that point forward. And Cincinnati has a team. I didn't know they had a team. They have a team. And I'll tell you something right now, too. I think that Cincinnati has a chance to win the Super Bowl. I'm taking the Rams, and I'm taking the Rams. I don't know what, I don't even know what's the over-under. Do you know the over-under? There's no one here. I'm just pretending like I've got like this myriad of people here working with me. It's just me by myself. Okay. Me and, Matt Kemp and little Teddy here. Um, whatever it is, I'll take the Rams. How do you say it? Anyway, I'm taking the Rams -3. So 3 points. That's what I'm talking. But I think that Cincinnati will have an easier time against the Rams than they would have had against the Niners. Now, not that the Rams don't have an incredible front four, but I think the linebackers for the 49ers would have given Joe a heck of a time. More so. He's big. You saw so many times Kansas City could not get him down. I mean, they had him in the grasp. If the grasp rule was still in effect, he would have been sacked 3 or 4 times in the second half. But it's not, and he wasn't, and he was able to get away and run for, what was it? Like, there was like 4 first downs, like in the the third quarter alone, whatever it was. I was kind of watching in and out, but I'm sorry, excuse me. But yeah, so crazy that Cincinnati, and that's why the NFL, to me, it's like, yeah, for the most part, 80% of the teams are the ones you predict to get in there. But every once in a while, you get something like this, and it's like, whoa, and good for Cincinnati, good for Ohio. There you go, right? Okay, so that's that. So really some great games, some great NFL, playoff games, that's for sure. So it's a great sport. And I think of all of the 3 main sports, now I think tennis, this is going to sound weird, but when talking about refereeing, tennis got it right. Tennis is actually using modern technology, right? So they're not just going off the eyes of the ump or of the line judges or whatever, if that's what they're called. They're using technology, right? Is it in or out? How come we're not doing that in other sports, right? Now, I do understand in AAA this year coming up, if baseball ever gets started, we'll talk about that in a second. AAA, they're going to be using robots, right, for the umping and that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly. You probably know more than I do, but yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, of all the sports, I wouldn't consider tennis like one of the top 4, but they're getting it right. They've had it right. They've been doing that for what, 15 years? Come on. I love the NFL, and I think of the big 3, NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. I think the NFL is the best officiated of the 3, oddly enough. And there's always, a scam each year in some playoff game, and I get with the Raiders this year and all that. I get it. But even if of all the 3, it's the best one. But we're still dragging out the chains. We're still dragging out the chains to measure. Are we looking for Vince Lombardi to come out of the tunnel and to wave at the crowd? Really? Okay, that's football. Baseball, nothing to talk about except, newsflash, preseason, spring training may be pushed back. Okay, you think? Bah. All right, let's talk a little basketball. And let me say something here. Last year, Milwaukee won the championship, right? They played Phoenix, and Phoenix very much deserved to be in the championship, and Milwaukee won. But I think for the first time in a number of years, you had a team in Milwaukee that maybe 6 or 7 other teams could have beat in a 7-game series. I thought about the championship teams over the last 30, 40 years. And we're talking like you got the Bulls, you got the Lakers, you've got the Spurs, of course, you've got the Pistons, you've got the Golden State Warriors, and of course some other teams dabbled in Cleveland, all that kind of stuff, right? Let's talk about Detroit, the Detroit team that beat the Lakers in, 2003? And this was the team, the super team, right? Because you had Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, all that kind of stuff, right? And the rest of the squad. That Pistons team, so you had a big, all right? And I'm going to go somewhere with this because I'm talking about Anthony Davis here for a second. Anthony Davis, to me, is not your centerpiece. He's the second. He's the Scottie Pippen to Mike, and Scottie was incredible, okay? Without Mike, Scottie is MVP a couple of years during his time in the NBA. But Anthony is the number 2. Rasheed Wallace was a great talent. You had Ben Wallace in there on that Detroit team, but you had Rip and you had Chauncey. And you had a bunch of other, was Bill on that team? I don't know. A bunch of other, no, Bill was on the team. He was the early ones. But a bunch of other guys too kind of meshed in there for a great squad. Even though you had just Mike and Scotty, you had a bunch of others to make a great squad because you still had Horace Grant and you had, depending who it was, as far as a point guard and that kind of thing, great teams. Shaq and Kobe, yes, but you still had Robert Ory and you had Derek Fisher and you had Rick Fox and all this kind of stuff, right? And then later on, you had, was it Powell and then Kobe and Andrew Bynum and a bunch of other people too, again, Derek. And they're also, Milwaukee's won a lot of games the last few years. I think that Giannis is incredible, but team basketball, I have a real problem with it. And the Lakers are in big trouble. They can't get healthy. Now you only got 30 games left. There are 3 games under 500. 31 games, I think. 3 games under 500. Anthony's not going to carry you in there at all. Yeah, I don't know at this point. If they're able to get into the second round, it'll be a miracle. They'll have to be healthy. You have to have LeBron and AD in there. Is AD a little challenged as far as like his pain threshold? Is he? Sure seems like it, doesn't it? Now, keep in mind, AD is huge, right? 7 foot or 6'11", whatever, and he would squash me like a bug right here, right now. And now I've like made enemies of 2 people, right? But if you watched an earlier channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I don't know, his wrist hurt, so he couldn't play in the next game because he banged it on the rim. Okay, last but not least, my Dolphins, they can't get it right. So now Brian Flores, who is suing the NFL, and the Dolphins are one of the 3 teams he's suing, is also saying that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, told him he'd pay him $100,000 per game that he threw because he wanted to better his position as far as for the draft. If this comes out to be true, my Dolphins they already don't have any picks as it is, but they're going to lose more draft picks. And Stephen Ross will probably have to, you'll sell the team and all kinds of madness. And you have no coach right now. Now, I don't buy into the fact that the Dolphins fired him because of the race issue. There's always a possibility, okay? That's for sure, always. But your GM is African American also, so I don't know. And you brought him on from New England. So I don't know. I just think they felt like even though they won so many at the end of the season, the locker room had been lost, supposedly, early on. You lost all those games and then brought it back. They just felt like, hey, this is not going to change. And maybe Harbaugh is coming to Miami. I don't think so now. Would you? No way. I would leave Michigan to come to Miami. Goodness sakes. So guess what? Next season, my Dolphins might win 5 games. I don't know who they're going to have. Would I get Jimmy G? Should Garoppolo come to Miami? He probably won't. But I don't know. I don't know. It's not even Super Bowl yet for 21, and I'm already just depressed about next season because my Dolphins are going to be so between my Dodgers, right, and their situation with the pitcher who shall remain nameless, and now the Dolphin situation. What's next? Is Jeannie Buss going to? I don't know. It's a rough time for me. Thanks for checking in. That's my little sports wrap. And maybe I'll come back in a week or so and we'll see some stuff and how it kind of like sifts through. When the dust settles, we can talk about it again. Or maybe we'll just wait till after the Super Bowl and talk then. Anyway, thanks for checking in. Please visit my website, GaretChristopher.com. Hey, thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye. GoPro, stop recording.